Hello and welcome to the Student Council, an educational advice podcast made for and by students where everyone is qualified to talk about their own experiences. I am Carter Dvorak and I am joined by Adam Liang, also known as Umich.Tendies on Instagram. Adam, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here.
Well, I'm so glad to have you here. I'm so excited to talk all things Michigan, all things chicken tenders, and everything in between. Just to introduce you, I want to hear about your favorite 5 minutes of the last week, if you can recount them.
Sounds good. So I actually just started my job this past week. So it was pretty good, like meeting people, got to meet some people who had very similar interests to me. So I know you asked me for 5 minutes, but I guess I could sum it down to 5 minutes of meeting tons of my new cohort. That was a ton of fun. Got to, it was like being a freshman in college again.
That's really fun. Congratulations. I wish you the best of luck on that new job. Do you mind, what are you doing? What are you working in?
Yeah, so I'll be a software engineer for JP Morgan for the foreseeable future.
Wow, congrats.
Appreciate it. I'm excited.
Yeah, I am excited for you. That is really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to basically introduce, you are now a University of Michigan alumni. Congratulations, class of 2022. Let's go. I just want to ask, what was your experience at U of M?
So it was a great experience. I mean, I think every single year was kind of separated into its own little category, if that makes sense. Freshman year, so I'm from New Jersey, but I'm from town of Piscataway, which is right near Rutgers, and everybody just goes to Rutgers because we're, right there. So I didn't know anybody coming into college. I got roomed with a sophomore my freshman year, which I thought was going to be bad, but it actually, my roommate was great. So it worked out, but, it was very hard meeting people at first. But I I thought about it. I was like, oh man, it was very hard meeting people, but that kind of push made me hungry to meet people. And I don't know, it worked out for the best. I got to join groups that I loved being part of and people I still talk to today. Just yesterday, I got a random call from one of my fraternity brothers, hadn't talked to in forever. And he's like, hey, let's just catch up. And it's just great that way. But the experience was overall great. COVID put a little dent in it. It was, we can make do with what we can. But overall, it was just great.
Well, I'm really glad to hear that. That makes me really excited for my experience. Yeah, I feel like COVID, both class of 2022, high school and college, I mean, certainly they were different, but we had that kind of weird, similar experience. Freshman year was pretty chill. Sophomore year was crazy. And I'm curious, because my senior year finally, I feel like more than any of the years prior, had restrictions have loosened a little bit, things have lightened up. But did you find that at Michigan too, by year end?
Yep. So I was super worried about that. Sophomore year, of course, is when it started. Junior year is when a lot of the restrictions was happening. Everything was online. Senior year, I don't want to go to college. My last year, not having any ability to really go out and enjoy things. But fortunately, the university, as long as you're vaccinated, they had a lot of great. So got to really utilize that.
Computer science. People talk about it. What exactly?
Well, it depends. There's different kinds of fields like cybersecurity,
flesh out my view of it. Awesome. Well, that is incredibly cool. Like when you talked about getting your master's, do you think you'd go back to Umich for your master's, or do you think you'd want to go somewhere else?
So JP Morgan has a policy in place where I could either go in-house. I think I talked about this. I can go in-house and it would be completely free. Like they have like a certain list of colleges, or I can go out, apply to different places. Example, maybe Michigan. And then they reimburse me a certain amount. So I'm still not sure how I want to play this yet. I still have to see how the finances go. But Michigan definitely an option, as you know, as everyone knows, they have a very good business program.
Yeah, I'm excited. I will be going as a bachelor's in business administration at Ross, so that's
Yeah,
going to be.
congrats. That's huge. That's huge.
I'm
One of
I'm
the best in the
excited.
undergrad nation. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's cool to see. There was just something that came out, right, where Michigan got like one of the top ranked like schools. I mean, again, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think they were three when I was coming as a freshman, as a business undergrad. So very good, very high up there.
Definitely, I'm really excited. Like, and just all the people of Michigan just seem so cool. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
you'll meet a lot of because I think every school in Michigan has their like brand of people, and you'll meet the business students
The
brand.
business students, of course, of course. So far, I'm really grateful though. I've met some cool incoming freshmen to Ross as well, which makes me really happy. So
That's awesome. It's super important meeting people off the bat. It just helps you feel comfortable.
it really does. Like, and it's crazy, like the world of social media these days or whatever, where it's like you can connect, and I can have Snapchat streaks going with somebody I met on a campus tour one time, and like now we still talk, and like we're both going
Yep.
into the school, and so it's cool.
It's crazy how that works. I mean, sometimes it turns out to be the best of friendships too. So you gotta see how it plays out.
Absolutely. And then I wanted to also, you mentioned a fraternity. I'm curious, like, were you always thinking of doing a fraternity, and like what was that experience kind of like?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I remember taking a survey before I actually came to Michigan, like right after I accepted, and they said like, "What things are you interested in?" And I said, "No fraternities, no professional fraternities, like nothing of the sort." And then 4 years later, I've experiences leadership roles with both a social and a professional fraternity. But it just kind of happened one day. I was sitting in class with one of my friends. I was like, "Hey, what are you doing for the rest of the day?" He's like, "Oh, I'm going to this BBA Meet the Clubs thing." He's like, "Oh, you don't have to be in Ross to go to it though. There's like clubs for non-Ross students as well." And I did FBLA in high school, which is the high school version of my professional fraternity, PBL. So I was like, you know what? I'll go check it out, see if they have anything like that. The next thing I know, I'm rushing a professional fraternity. So I was like, and then and funny story, one of the guys I met during rush of my professional fraternity, the next semester, so second semester, my freshman year, I was wearing, I always wear shorts. So it's an important story. I'm walking home from a party at like 1:30 a.m. And the guy who I rushed with, he saw me. He's like, "Adam?" And like it's super dark out. It's snowing, but he recognized me right off the bat because he's like, "Who else is going to be wearing shorts at 1:30 while it's snowing?" So I was like, "Hey," his name is Josh. I was like, "Hey, Josh, like let's catch up." So and then he's like, "Dude, you should. I'm rushing this fraternity, Beta Theta Pi. Like they're a great group of guys. Like you should rush." So I was like, I had to think about it, and then in the end, I did it. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had. Like I know people, like I know fraternities like have that bad rep sometimes, but I guess I can use this time to experience. Like they're not all bad fraternities. Like my social fraternity does not haze. Like we focused on like bonding and stuff, and then group of events and stuff. So like I have like a group of friends for the rest of my life because of that decision. So a lot of like weird, just like coincidence things that just led to, very, very fortunate things for me.
That's really cool. That is, so you're one of those guys who wears the shorts. You fit into like you fit into just the state of Michigan very well then with that with that trait. That's really cool though. I was like applying all through the process, looking at colleges. I was, I think, kind of in your initial shoes of like fraternities really aren't for me. But then like I've started to hear about some of these professional ones and some of those like
Mhm.
like fraternities in that realm, and I'm like maybe this would be like an interesting experience. And like I'm doing a learning community my freshman year, which I think will kind of also maybe be a good like wetting the palate for like
Right.
seeing what it's like to kind of live or really engage with like this community of people. So.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I can always give you more like information on the side too about that kind of stuff.
Totally. I would love that. I would like I want as much advice going in as possible. As much as anybody can prep, I will be prepped.
That's amazing.
And so furthermore, really banking in the tips, do you have like an ultimate tip essentially that for anyone going into college, like if you could give one piece of advice?
So it's hard to say this because like my one tip would be mostly, I guess, for computer science students, but so I'll kind of split it up because it's the major tip that I always think about. Kind of like business students a little different because you guys got to keep up your GPA, but for computer science students, excuse me, for computer science students, it's all about like side projects and your passion and like leadership experiences. Like I had a really bad GPA through college, but like I didn't seem to care, like it didn't seem to matter. I had some friends working at Amazon, like the big companies, didn't even have to send in their transcripts. So I'm not saying fail your classes, but for at least for computer science students, just make sure you like actually learn the material and like, like don't stress out. Enjoy your college experience because the classes are not easy, but enjoy yourself. And then for overarching like tip, I know this kind of sounds cliche, but really like be yourself. It's especially at Michigan, like it's such a big college, such a big university that you'll meet people just like you. You'll meet people that like you. Like you don't have to try to fit in anywhere. Like there's so many. I see so many freshmen trying to like be someone they're not because they're like afraid of like they meet someone they're like, oh, I got to be like this person or I'm not gonna fit in anywhere. There's people like you, and sometimes it takes time to figure it out and take some effort to find those people, but you will find those. You will find those people if you put in the effort. There are people like you. It's a big university. There's like a space for everybody.
Wow, and that's an excellent piece of advice. It is kind of a nice thing. Like my high school was like 350 people in the entire high school. Like it's
Wow.
tiny, and
Hey,
even before,
Paul.
yeah, and even before that, I was kind of like I call it a pseudo homeschool kid. So like that was like I have been slowly increasing in class size, and now it's just going to be massive, right?
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
so, and that's I guess it is a comfort to understand that like since it's such a big pool of people, you're right. Like people are going to be similar, and that's kind of I'm excited for that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Just again, like sometimes it will take time, but they are there. They are there.
Yeah, that is excellent advice. Thank you.
Of
All
course.
right, now it's time for the meat and chicken tenders of the episode. I found you when I googled on my Instagram one day. I just typed in Umich to the account search bar, and I was like, "What's up here?" And then I scroll down a little bit, and Umich.Tendies comes up, and I'm like, immediate follow, like within seconds. And then honestly, I want to say within the first like 20 minutes, I'm like, "All right, I'm having this guy on a podcast." Like. And so I want to just so for anybody who doesn't know, for the uninitiated, what is Umich.Tendies? I want to hear its origin story, and I just want to hear your take on the whole thing.
Sounds good. So, Umich.Tendies is an Instagram page and an app for iPhone users. Well, I'll speak first about the Instagram page. It's an Instagram page that aims to post every day. I've been kind of lazy my junior and senior year, especially when COVID hit, but it usually posts every day where chicken tenders are. So if like I have a code written that says I just press a button and it says chicken tenders at this place, and now it's on the app. So I just go on the app, check it, and if it's there, post a random chicken tenders picture and say chicken tenders are being served at this location. Like have a great day, something like that. So that's the Instagram page. When COVID hit, I was like they can't really do a lot of chicken tenders anymore. How are we gonna keep this like page going? I was like, you know what? This may make the Instagram obsolete, but let's try making an app. As a coder, like I wanted to kind of push myself, learn some new things. And now if you look up Umich.Tendies on the App Store, you can actually look up. There's a button to find specifically tendies, but you can also look up any menu item in the dining halls as well. So that's the Instagram and the app. I can kind of talk about the origin story now. So I'm a very picky eater. I love chicken tenders like immensely. It's my favorite food. And I remember when I visited Michigan for like the student welcomes, the student orient or not the orientation, but the thing before that. They served chicken tenders at Mojo, and I was like I could see myself going here and eating chicken tenders. But when I got here, I realized they didn't have them every day at one point. So I was like, oh man, like I caught myself like looking through the dining website every day. I'm like, I wonder if there's chicken tenders being served anywhere. It's like there's got to be an easier way, right? So instead of doing my schoolwork one day when I had a ton of it, I was like, how can I procrastinate? And I started making like this naive code on like you just press a button and it's like, oh, here's where chicken tenders are. So I was in my fraternity at the time, and I was showing them. I'm like, look at this stupid code. Like, I just wasted my day on it. And so there's funny enough, there's chicken tenders being served at South Quad, and my fraternity is actually the building right next to South Quad. So we always go there like as a group. I'm like, hey, let's just go now. So a group of us just went to South Quad, grabbed some tendies, and then one of my fraternity brothers, Justin, he was like, hey, Adam, like, why don't you make one of those Instagram pages that like post every day and tells you if there's chicken tender? And it's kind of a joke, and we all laughed. And then we got back to the house, and I looked at Justin. I'm like, you know what? Like, you got me thinking. Like, this is not a bad idea. So I was like, you know what? Let's just make it. So then I was like, all right, I made it. Then the Instagram was made. We had like 20 followers off the bat. And then one of my professional fraternity brothers contacted me. He's like, yo, I want to be on the ground floor of this. Like, let me know like how I can help and stuff like that. And we kind of just promoted it in a way. And then how it really blew up though was like we had like 100 followers or so for like 5 or 6 days, and finals was coming up. And again, procrastinating, didn't want to study for my finals. Kind of just working on like any kind of promotion we can do, or just like looking at different stuff that was happening. And one of the guy professional fraternity brothers friends was just like, I'm gonna make a meme about this and post it in memes for Wolver Teens. I was like, all right, like I'm like, let me see it. So I think the meme was like, wow, Umich engineers must be working really hard right now. And then it said Umich engineers, and it has like Umich.Tendies like picture. And like after that was posted, we had like, I think it was like 400 or 500 followers within 24 hours. And like, that's when it really actually blew up. Like we had tons of people like started following, sharing, and it was great. So yeah, that's the origin story of Umich.Tendies.
Wow, that is amazing. That is everything I wished it could have been and more. It is such a good app. Like I want to say it's a fun page and it's a good app. Like that's such a good idea. Like I have it on my phone. I'm doing my best to plug it and be like, talk to everyone, like, because it's so smart to like be able to just search where everything's served in dining halls and stuff.
Right. And it was my first app too. So it's like, I don't know, there's some like flaws with it that I'm not too proud of, but it was the first app I've ever made. So, I'm happy with the first product, I guess.
Yeah. Wait, have you made apps since then?
Yeah, so I made a second app for my professional fraternity that connects alumni with pledges and brothers. So you can contact like alumni if you want. There's like an attendance button for events so that we don't have to like collect it manually. And then there's like when we were virtual, there's a Zoom option, so people can just press the Zoom link and it automatically brings it up. Again, the database so that people can be connected, login system, all that kind of thing. That was more well made than the other one, but I think Tendies is used a little bit more by the public.
Wow, that's cool. So I do have I want to get into first. I saw on your LinkedIn you worked with Michigan Dining too. Did you like?
I did, yeah. So I actually got the job through Tendies. I was yeah. So I made the app and I just had finished it, and I was like, all right, like, and I also will mention like the point of Tendies was completely to be like for the public, by the public, for the public, free. Didn't want to profit anything off them. used it like in my resume and stuff, but didn't want to like, turn it into like a business of some sort or anything.
Hmm.
But I was like, all right, this app is made, right? Like, I don't want to like put ads or anything on it, but I do want to like get the public to use it. So I reached out to M Dining and I was like, hey, like, is there any way we can promote this app? And little did I know, they actually have an app that like the Michigan app that has like the menus and stuff on the phone. And it looks like, kid you not, it looks exactly like how you would if you look at the like my app and the Michigan app. They look very similar in terms of like the food offered, like the buttons and everything. And I was just like, how did I not see this? One and two, like, how was this design very similar? And I'm very bad at design, so I had like input from friends, but like they had never seen the app either. And I'm like that's kind of crazy, but that's beside the point. So they contacted me. They're like, we actually have an app very similar to this, but like we recognize your talents and like, we'd love to have you on board. And then one thing led to another. And I had two kind of roles for M Dining. One was a sustainability and student engagement coordinator intern. And then the other one was like a kind of like computer consultant for M Dining, which had me doing like more code based things.
Interesting. Those are really cool positions. It's funny the doors that Tendies have unlocked.
Right? Dude, it got me some free stuff too. I'll get into that later, but
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Wow. That is incredibly cool. So I was thinking, and I texted you about this last night, and I had just like had this idea of since such a big chicken tenders fan, I'm curious. First of all, I want to ask, is there a dining hall that serves the best chicken tenders on campus?
so honestly, it varies on the day, but Markley, before they served them every day, Markley used to have chicken tenders Fridays, where on Friday they'd have just a bunch of chicken tenders coming, a ton, like every single second, and you could actually self-serve, like how it's not like every other dining hall. Like you're like, hey, can I have some chicken tenders? They give you like a serving, two or three of chicken tenders, and you can like ask for an extra one or something. But you can always go back and get more, obviously. But for Markley, it was like something I did with my friends. We would go because I didn't even know, like for my first year that they did this. We would go as a group on Friday, go to Markley, grab like 15 chicken tenders at a time, and then just like eat it. And it was funny, a quick funny story. When I was running the Instagram page, I'd have like a few people just sent me like pictures of themselves with chicken tenders from Markley because it's self-serve, and they had like Tupperware boxes. And like one guy, I literally counted, guy had 110 chicken tenders like next to him. He's like, "Yep, just grab this from Markley." I'm like, "Geez, like actually ridiculous." But
That's nuts.
yeah, I would say Markley because they have that self-serve. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Markley.
Markley. Okay. Well, I will have to hit Markley up. The other little I was thinking of a little game to play. Just I have you. Are you a connoisseur of chicken tenders that I assume places outside of Michigan dining halls? Like if you.
I think so. It's very limited, I would say, in Ann Arbor, but I'll see what I know and answer based on whatever I do know.
I'm just gonna start throwing places out there. So you can tell me if this is a chicken splendor or a chicken offender. Let's
That's
go with tech. I might throw some places that have some chicken nuggets, honestly, and like just throw that out there. I'm gonna do the big one first, McDonald's.
that definitely chicken splendor. Like you got to find the right sauce for it, but those nuggets, like especially like when you're studying or something, and you're just lazy, you just want the food perfect. Like I'm a big fan of McDonald's nuggets.
Nice. Burger King.
I haven't had Burger Kings in a while, but growing up in high school, I used to have it a lot because they were just so cheap. So I'm on the fence about this one because they're very cheap. They're average for the price you can get it for. So I'll go with Splendor because as college students, you're always looking for a good deal.
Absolutely. How about Wendy's?
Wendy's, oh man. So I think if they don't, they have chicken strips as well. I don't remember, but Wendy's nuggets are pretty fire too.
Okay.
I want to say offender for one of them, but so far they've all been splendors.
All right. How about does KFC have tenders in
They
particular?
do, they do.
Okay.
I I remember stress eating a lot of KFC chicken tenders. So I'm a big honey mustard fan. They have really good honey mustard, and they have honestly their tenders aren't what they used to be. They're very like skinny now and not like plump. So you know what? I'd say my first defender because they used to be like fantastic, but now you get like all skin and like no meat. So low key becoming an offender now.
Okay. Okay. Have you been to Popeyes?
I have been to Popeyes.
Okay.
Um, so their chicken sandwiches are fire. I'll start with by saying that.
Okay.
But I don't know if I'm a big fan of their chicken. I remember growing up and being on vacation, wasn't a huge fan. So when the sandwiches like started becoming popular, I was like, I don't know if I want to try this, but it's chicken, so I had to try it. I'm glad I did because it's great. But the tenders are kind of a offender.
Okay. How about Chick-fil-A?
Oh, so funny story about this. I am the biggest Chick-fil-A fan. I'm probably gonna get some Chick-fil-A after this. One of my favorite foods on the planet. But when I was a kid and had Chick-fil-A for the first time, I got their chicken tenders and hated them. I absolutely hated them. Yeah, I was, and then when my parents would get it, I would be like, no, that no Chick-fil-A for me. Like, I don't like it. Yeah, I was like, nope. But then their nuggets and their chicken sandwich brought me back to loving them. Like that's just the best food, one of the best foods on the planet to me. But not, I mean, I haven't had it because I was like, there's sandwiches and nuggets. Like, there's no point in getting the chicken tenders. But the one time I had it when I was like 8, wasn't a fan.
Wow. You had a real like enemies to lovers arc with Chick-fil-A.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Arby's?
Okay, I've had Arby's maybe a few times. I just had it recently, actually, when I just moved here to Delaware. I would say it's kind of on the fence. It's like very average. It's like, okay, if you need chicken tenders, like there it is. So you know what? I'll go with a Fender. No, I'll go with Splinter. I'll go with Splinter because I admire them for having chicken tenders, even though they're not like branded on chicken tenders. I admire places that allow me to have the option of having chicken tenders.
Okay. Ooh, this is a very Midwest one. Culver's.
Ah, okay. So another funny story. I actually hate their chicken tenders. I don't think they're good, but I love Culver's. Their chicken sandwiches, I love. I actually didn't try Culver's until I think my senior year. But once I went, because I'd never heard of it, but once I tried their chicken sandwiches, my friends with cars, we went every day. Like it's like every other day type of thing. We're like, the employees knew us at some point. They're like, "Hey, welcome back," and we're like, "Oh, great!" Like, kind of embarrassing, but not a fan of their chicken tenders, but a big fan of their chicken sandwiches. So again, kind of split.
Kind of split. Can I get real quick your take on their cheese curds?
uh you have to have them really hot,
Hmm.
but like I'm like I the first time I went there, someone was like, "Get the cheese curds," and I'm a big fan of mozzarella sticks, so I was like, maybe next time, like I'll try them next time. And then the second time when I got them, and I was like, oh my god, like what did I miss out on? Like I missed the whole trip of going and getting those cheese curds. Very, very good.
Yeah. Okay. Sonic? Have you been to the Sonic chicken tenders?
Yeah, they're very mid.
Okay.
I would say actually maybe even below average. So I would kind of say an offender, but in a pinch they can be used.
In a pinch. Okay. Does Dairy Queen have chicken tenders?
Yeah, they do. I haven't had their fast food in a while, but when I had a conference trip for FBLA, my high school, and Dairy Queen was the only thing available, so I was like, you know what, I'll try it. It slapped. It was very good. So I'm a big fan of chicken tenders from Dairy Queen.
Wow. Okay. Have you been to any West Coast places like a Jack in the Box or Carl's Jr.?
I haven't. I really want to, but I've
Mm-hmm.
only been on the West Coast maybe for like 1 week. And I didn't really spend it going to chicken tenders places, unfortunately.
Alas. Yeah. I still I wait for the day I get to go to In and Out for the first time.
I have a twin brother. He could not wait. He was the same as you. He couldn't wait as well. It was, and he was not disappointed.
Rumor has it, I think there's one in like like one in like a random Midwest state. I feel like I want to say it's Ohio or something. Where I'm like,
Really?
maybe I need to just have an escapade and go
Yeah,
there.
bite the bullet and travel to Ohio.
I know, enemy territory.
Yep,
But
yeah.
I think this is the last one I can think of. White Castle?
White Castle. Wow. Do they have chicken tenders?
I don't. That's what I don't know. I'm trying to think of like this White Castle.
I remember they do. I am sure they have chicken rings because I actually just had them recently. Again,
Okay.
very like average to below average. I kind of just did it to try it, and I wanted chicken, and we were going to White Castle. So you know what? I tried it, but again, like average, below average kind of
Okay.
scale.
Okay. Actually, the last one that came to mind. I don't know if you've been to one. Have you been to a Nando's before? Peri Peri
I've never
chicken.
heard of it.
Okay. It's I think more like a UK place. I used to live right next to one, which is kind of just weird. There's like they're all over like the United Kingdom, and then there was like 10 random ones in the United States on like the East Coast. But
Dang.
yeah.
I gotta. What are they called? Let me write this
I
down.
think it's Nando's or Nando's Peri Peri.
Okay.
The chicken was I didn't get it in tender form. It has like I know they got a lot of different sauces and stuff. If you're near one, I'd say check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to. I love trying to go like to new chicken places. So I wrote that down. I will also be asking you about that later.
Okay.
I do want to plug two places.
Yeah.
Raising Cane's, very good. Their bread is fantastic. And their tenders are okay by themselves. Like, I know they're known for that, but you have to have them with sauce. Like that's what makes them great. Their sauce and their tenders. And then one place on campus that I actually got tenders a lot was Mr. Spots. They've been there for a while. They get very crowded on game day, and they're known for like their cheesesteaks and stuff. But my freshman year, I was fiending on some Mr. Spots chicken tenders.
Nice. A friend and I have talked about because there's so much food in Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
Like going and trying to do like weekly or bi-weekly, just like find a new food place and go and
Yes,
like
yes.
review it. I think that'd be really
It's a
fun.
must. It's a must. If there's one thing I had to like redo in college, excuse me, I'd grab a friend and say, let's go to like one place every other week or once a week. Yeah, that's a perfect idea.
Yeah, I feel like because I think the one place that I like know that I've been to in Ann Arbor, I went to it's Monty Pizza in like downtown Ann Arbor. That's been really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I saw one of my friends saw Harbaugh there once.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. Well, we know now it's Hardball approved. So,
Yep, exactly. You gotta go there now.
do you think Hardball has ever used your app? Do you think Hardball has ever
Absolutely
looked?
not.
No.
Would like to think so, but probably not, unfortunately. He's too busy leading our team to beating Ohio State 40 or having on that poster right there, 42-27, baby.
Heck yeah. I'm excited. I'm like, I don't know if I'll I'm a little scared to go to a game in Ohio because I don't want to get like beat up by people, but I'm
Yeah, man,
excited.
it's hostile territory, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Were you there for the Michigan Ohio win your last year? Nice.
Absolutely. I literally was saying it our sophomore year. We were sitting in the stands. I was like, I don't think we're gonna win this game. Although it was fun because I was like I surfed the crowd when we scored our first touchdown. It was a ton of fun. But I just didn't have a good feeling. And then I told my friend when we went up, I said, I don't know if we're gonna win this one, but mark my words, we're going to win our senior year and we're gonna rush the field. And believe it or not, senior year came. I lost my voice in the first like 3 minutes. Like I was yelling at the refs from like miles away. I was screaming at anyone I could find. And it was a perfect day. It was like lightly snowing for that upset weather, and rushing the field was just a surreal experience. One of the best memories I've ever had.
That is so cool. I am so excited for moments like that. It's gonna be the
Yeah.
best.
We got a pretty decent team now too. So like yeah, hopefully you'll be seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, I think so. I hope so. I do have a couple other more just general college questions. I'm gonna flip a couple here in the script because I want to continue on this food talk one last time. What is the best dining hall on campus? And then I'm gonna guess that it might be chicken tenders, but do you have a best bite of food from? Like you could just say from the dining halls or from Ann Arbor in general.
I'm gonna go with Mojo as the best dining hall. I don't know, like they just have I don't know how to put it, but I think I had a few friends who said South Quad used to be the best dining hall, but I think it's definitively Mojo. Mojo now. They just have good options, and it's just very clean like presentation, if that makes sense. In terms of best dish, I'm gonna have to go with chicken again, but maybe not the chicken tenders. Their chicken sandwiches are pretty good. They had like buffalo chicken sandwiches and regular chicken sandwiches. Very rare, very hard to find, but when they do have it, very enjoyable.
Okay, that's cool. Where is Mojo on campus?
Do you know where? So Mojo is near Markley. They're kind of near each other. They're across it's like across the bridge. So you have like kind of like central campus, and then a little farther away, it's called the Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where Mojo and Markley are. They're a little isolated. It's like a 15-ish, 10 to 15 minutes walk to central campus from Mojo and Markley. But a lot of freshmen live in Markley, so a lot of people congregate in that area.
Nice. Okay. Speaking of living a little bit, I'm curious. You have a essential item to have for your dorm room.
Oh, I've never been asked that question. Let me think. Honestly, my like living experience, I'm very minimalistic. I don't really need that much. I will say though, one thing that I don't really need that I love having is candles. I love this, especially because college dorms are usually like very smaller than like what you're used to sometimes. Candles just like will make the room just smell fantastic. Diffusers, anything like that. Oh, you know what? I will say you have to have that LED light experience as a college, at least 1 year. You know what I mean? Like, as you can see, I don't have like any LEDs or anything. Also, I do work from home sometimes, so I can't really have that going. But that I had LEDs my senior year. I think it was the only time I had it. It just I didn't want to use natural light ever again. Like it was just such a cool like vibe. So LED lights are pretty nice.
They seem cool. I think I might even have like a wheel somewhere. I know I have these like nano leaf things. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're like little colorful shapes that you like clip together, and they're like sound sensitive, so you can like put music and they'll like change colors and
You
stuff.
have that. Yes, those are fantastic.
They look
Fantastic.
they got them as I got them as a graduation gift, and I'm very hyped to like put them up in the dorm.
Yeah, dude, send me a picture of that. That
I will
sounds
do that.
amazing.
It's cool. It's the wild thing though is like because I was like looking at them after, and I'm like they're like they're very expensive, and I'm like
So expensive. Like it came to
very
the point where
surprised by that.
yeah, it was. I'm like, why? Like, it came to the point where I was like, you know what? I just bought like programmable ones and just started coding my own like designs and stuff.
That's cool. That is very cool. Okay.
Yeah,
I
worked
wanna,
out.
yeah, I wanna take you back 4 years to high school, 4 years or more, anywhere from 4 to 8 years. Wow.
Same.
Like that's crazy for me. Like I was a freshman 4 years ago.
Time
I'm old.
flies.
Time flies. Okay, but what is a moment from high school that you still think about?
Um, so I kind of tell this story to people sometimes because it's just like if people ever like are on the fence about doing something, like as long as it's like not detrimental or whatever to you and your health, like you should do it. And this is the story I'm about to tell is the reason why. So again, PBL was my professional fraternity in college, but in high school, the like high school version of it was FBLA, which stands for Future Business Leaders of America. My freshman year, I was in the club, but I wasn't active at all. Like I was just I went to maybe 1 or 2 meetings, but I knew this girl, her name was Chelsea, and like she was very involved. Like she was like doing everything for the club, kind of putting that club on her back. And I remember she ran for office, and I was like, oh, she should obviously get this position. Like she's like great for this. And I hadn't been there that much, but she had done so much that me, who hasn't done anything, knows that. So I voted for her. I went to elections, voted for her, but I saw that a bunch of like track kids just came, and they also didn't like know anything. They came and just voted for the other guy because they were in track together, and he won naturally because of that. Because there's just a ton of track kids who joined for putting it on their resume, and I kind of felt bad for him. Like, oh, she doesn't deserve this. So I just sent her an email, and because I didn't know her at all, like I had talked to her 0 times, and I was like, hey, like I'm sorry. I really thought you deserved it. Like just send her a nice email. And then she got back to me. It's like, oh, I appreciate it. And we didn't really talk after that. And then my sophomore year, I'm like on the fence about joining again. I'm like, I didn't really do anything. Like, I don't want to spend like $15 to do it. And she like reached out to me personally. She's like, hey, you think about joining? Like you should join again. And then like she became one of my closest friends. I joined the club obviously, and that became like my club in high school. I got involved on the regional, state, and national level, like campaigned for a lot of national officers. Actually won two national competitions. My junior year came in ninth, and my senior year came in first with some of my best friends. Yeah, it was a real experience, and my school hadn't placed nationally in any competition for over like 50 years. So like just and I would not have joined that club, and I probably wouldn't have done PBL in college, and I probably wouldn't even gotten into Michigan because I didn't have any extracurriculars in that sense. If I did not just send an email, someone I didn't even know, something I wasn't even thinking about. I was on the fence. I was like, do I even want to spend time sending this email? But like just a small action to help somebody's day can really impact your future. Wouldn't have joined wouldn't have known anybody I know today. That's how I see it, at least. So I still think about that time. Like if I just didn't send that email, and I told myself not to do it, then maybe I wouldn't even be talking to you right now. So it's crazy to think about.
Wow, that is a remarkable story. I love that on so many levels because like aside from doing like stuff about school stuff, I do like a podcast and like think a lot about like good news and like acts of kindness, and like that's so sweet for you to send her that email, and like it is so fascinating to think about those little like the butterfly effect moments
Right.
in
Yeah.
life, right?
Exactly.
Where it's like this pushed this domino and everything else fell into place. I have like I can think of other moments in my life where that happened too, and it's crazy to
It's
think about.
surreal. It's surreal. It's really like eye opening.
Yeah, and congrats on first place
I
nationally. That is amazing. Like that is I wow.
was a
That
ton
is
of
so
fun.
cool. Oh yeah. Our high school didn't have anything similar to that, but like we had a student council that like it was, it like did the student council stuff for like my first 3 years and like just kind of through COVID. But like the teacher who ran it, like new teachers took it over who like I was, I'd taken like who did psych and lit and some of those other like, courses that I really liked, and she was a really good teacher. And like she and our like athletics teacher took it over, and basically like kind of for that, like this is the first year back where restrictions are loosening and stuff. Like we really like in like the kids in there, especially I think the seniors, like myself and three other people, like were super gung ho about it and just went all in and like had the first ever like parade that we had in school and like got to like make these floats and drive through town and like
That's
we
amazing.
it was so fun to just like put all this work in and have this like really these super memorable experiences with it.
It really is like, I don't know, like memories you keep forever. And of course, like that's high school, right? Like you do these things, and you do these events, and it's memorable forever. But like I think a lot of people think, okay, now it's just like college is time to like get professionally ready, and or just like let loose and have some fun at parties or whatever. But like there's still like part of high school where you want to create those memorable events and like make a change and like put in like a lot of effort on like extracurriculars and stuff. So it's like it still like really ties in together.
You're absolutely right. And I think that for me at least, I feel like I was able to strike a chord where like a lot of the extracurriculars that I did and like leadership stuff was stuff that I loved doing. Beyond that, it was also like, it
So
was as much socially fulfilling as it was like personally and,
mhm.
academically, I guess too. So like that was a really good blend.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. We're in the final two questions. The penultimate question is I'm trying to build like a school survival playlist essentially. So I'm curious if you got any song recommendations to put on that playlist for a song that got you through high school or maybe college or both or anything there.
So it's funny when I when I was my first 3 years of college, I'd never even shared any of my music. Like I was completely closed off. And then my senior year, I had like kind of like the party room, the hangout room. So I was like, I guess I have to start sharing music now because like I'll be in charge of aux majority of the time. And this is kind of like a sorority. I don't want to like generalize, but like a sorority or a fraternity, like kind of like freshman thing. But doses and mimosas is like always a vibe to me. Always loved that song. Just kind of like vibed out to it.
Okay. I don't think I can say that I've heard that song, but I will go listen to it now. It seems like a fun time. Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Yeah, there are those good songs. I'm with you. I was somebody who definitely like, because I feel like I have a music taste that is like just so like eclectic and like generally like just so broad.
Right.
So that's like kind of weird. Like I'm like I feel like I have a little bit of everything, but that also makes it like this is such a weird mix sometimes.
Right. I couldn't agree with you more. But I realized like there's a lot of people who want to like hear new music. Like there's some people who may judge, but like there's also like your close friends are the ones that are like, you know what, like I'm trying to hear some new good music that I might have not heard before, Especially because like you were saying, your music taste is so broad that like you can really introduce like new songs that they may not have heard before.
Yeah, that's very true. All right, the last question's a bit of a double header. What would you tell your freshman self in high school, and what would you tell your freshman self in college?
So wow, I gotta think 8 years back for this one.
8 years.
Yeah, we'll start with high school, man. So I think like I don't really have major regrets in high school. I think I played my high school pretty well. I guess I would say like continue to be yourself. Like I really think I don't really have that many regrets from high school. College, I have a ton of things I tell myself only because like I just thought it would be kind of similar, and they're not really. Like they have some ties, but like it's time for yourself to like really grow and blossom in college. I would say to my freshman self, and again, it's kind of different for business students, but I would tell myself like just pass the classes, grades don't matter. Like enjoy your college, like because especially now that I'm like looking back, I'm done with college. 4 years was 4 years, and I'm done. Didn't really like I really only had like 2 full years of college, and like if I had to go back, enjoy those times, like really cherish those memories you had. I'm like sitting here sometimes thinking about sometimes like some really fun times I had in college, and I'm just like you want to create as many memories as possible with that.
That is excellent advice through and through. Yeah, it's important, to like to go in there and yeah, really make some good memories. And I think I've said it a lot, but I am really excited to do that.
Dude, yeah, I'm excited for you. It should be a great 4 years.
It's gonna be really fun. All right, I think that brings us to just about the end. Do you have any other parting words, anything you want to share or plug, anything of that regard?
Yeah, I actually do have one thing. Kind of a quick story too with it. So when tendies got popular, I'm very passionate about mental health awareness, and everything like that. So when we got popular, we are actually in the middle of creating merch. When it was so popular, and we had the design ready to go. All the proceeds were going to mental health awareness. And then COVID hit literally the week after we had our designs ready. So of course, right? Never got to do that. And there was also branding problems with having Umich in the name, stuff like that. But the person I passed the Instagram off to, actually, without him like I didn't even tell him any of those plans. He had no clue about that. He actually wanted to. He asked. He said, "Hey, how would you feel about like me selling merch for like nonprofits, like a cause of his choice?" And I was like, go for it. So if it ever does become like it blows up, and I think the university does actually plug the Umich.Tendies during like student orientation or whatever, or not student, or like some kind of like mentorship thing. Because I always have like I always see on the Instagram floods of people like all at once, and then nothing, and then it happens again. So if it ever does like blow up again, I do encourage people to give to this good cause. It's all for good stuff at the end of the day, and it creates a culture of like people who all care about the same thing.
That is so cool. Goodness, I want that to happen. A, because I want to just wear Umich.Tendies around, but B, I love cool merch sold for good causes. That
Right.
is like such an awesome thing. Are you aware of Hank and John Green, the Vlog Brothers at all?
Not sure.
Okay. They do a lot of that stuff. Like they even have like the Awesome Socks Club and the Awesome Coffee Club, and they're like monthly a sock subscription service, which you get like cool artist designed socks every month, and then a coffee subscription.
What is it called?
And it's called the Awesome Socks Club and then the Awesome Coffee Club. They're by Hank and John Green. Honestly, that would be my plugs for today. And all the proceeds go to reducing like it's for like supporting maternal health in Sierra Leone, and like in like building a better healthcare structure there. Like they're building a new, I think, maternal hospital, and so it's it's like they've been raising funds for forever, but it's cool. Like they're one of those people
That's
where they
amazing.
have all this cool merch and all the money goes to good proceeds, and it's the best thing to buy.
It's such a great idea. Like you get to like sell, like one, it helps capitalism, I guess, in a sense.
Yeah.
And you get an item and like it just goes to good. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it's just a positive flow everywhere.
Yeah, and they really emphasize that, and they're just like, we don't need the money. Like, it like, and it is so cool, and to yeah, like it is a positive flow. You said going to both places.
Right, right. It's just amazing.
Yeah, go check out the Awesome Socks Club and the Awesome Coffee Club. Those would be my plugs for today. Yeah. Any other last regards?
Nothing really. Just if anybody's watching as freshmen or anything, I wish you the best of luck with the 4 years. Have a lot of fun. Get focus on school, but also don't forget to have a good time.
Yeah, indeed. Well, Adam, thank you so much for coming on today. It was
I
a
appreciate
joy
you
to
for having
talk.
me. Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
I really appreciate you coming on. It's been great to chat all things tenders, all things Umich. It's so cool. I wish you the best with your job and everything here moving out.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep me updated with what's going on in college. Let me know if any cool stories develop or anything like that.
I will do that. I will send you a picture of me with some mini chicken tenders.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. And listener, thank you for listening to another episode of the Student Council. I have been Carter Dvorak. If you want to find us, our Instagram is @StucoPod. But before you follow us, go follow Umich.Tendies on Instagram. You have to now. You can't say no. If you want to contact us with questions, our email is stucopod@gmail.com. I wish you the best of luck and the best of times in all of your educational and all of your endeavors. The council is adjourned.